The whole thing is just predictable, isn't it? Government shutdowns are becoming less shocking events and more like seasonal allergies, an annual nuisance you brace for, knowing full well there will be consequences. And the flight disruptions? Just one of those consequences. Staffing shortages at the FAA because people aren't paid, leading to reduced flights, cascading delays, and a general sense of annoyance scaled up. It's not exactly news. The system hiccups, everyone sighs, and we collectively pretend it won't happen again next time, except it will. That's the thing about systems built on sand and political theater. Even if they do manage to sort things out, reach some temporary agreement, kick the can down the road a bit further, don't expect a swift return to normalcy. It's not like flipping a switch. Think untangling Christmas lights after your cat decided they were a personal challenge. A slow, frustrating process of identifying knots and hoping you haven't permanently damaged anything important. Let's talk about the controllers for a minute, and try to have some basic empathy here, which is asking a lot, I know. These people are considered essential workers, which means they're required to show up and do their jobs even when the government decides its budget isn't worth figuring out. Then everyone acts surprised when they look for other ways to cover rent. It's not malice, it's rational self-preservation. Basic economics, really. People need to eat. You can't exactly pay bills with patriotism. The narrative about taking second jobs is so disingenuous. They aren't suddenly abandoning their posts for a thrill. They're trying to survive in a system that demonstrably doesn't care about them. It's like getting mad at a drowning person for grabbing onto a life raft. And then there are the sick calls, which, again, are just logical. Stress is bad for your health. Being unpaid while stressed? That's a particularly potent cocktail for disaster. You can only push someone so far before they crack. It's not some grand conspiracy to disrupt air travel. It's humans responding predictably to unsustainable conditions. The FAA acts like these are isolated incidents, failures of individual character, but it's a systemic problem. They created the situation and then feign shock when people act accordingly. The airlines themselves aren't exactly offering much reassurance. All this talk about unwinding schedules sounds deceptively complex, but it boils down to more than just getting planes back in the right cities. It's crews, maintenance schedules, gate assignments, baggage handling, a million tiny moving parts that all need to be coordinated. Try reorganizing your sock drawer after a black hole event. That's roughly the level of mess we're dealing with here. And it creates this ripple effect, doesn't it? One canceled flight leads to another, and soon you have stranded passengers, lost luggage, and general misery. It's like knocking over dominoes made of human frustration. Don't mistake them for benevolent actors either. Airlines are businesses optimizing for profit, even in a crisis. That statement about residual effects. PR speak for, we'll milk this inconvenience as long as possible. They're not trying to solve the problem, they're managing it. And by managing, I mean minimizing losses while maximizing revenue. It's a cold calculation, but honestly, what did you expect? Now let's briefly address the accusations of political maneuvering. Both sides are probably guilty, and frankly, it doesn't really matter. Democrats claiming this is about raising pressure, Republicans denying it. It's all just posturing to appease their respective bases while Rome burns, or, flights get delayed. It's a performance of incompetence, designed to look like outrage. They want you focused on the drama, not the underlying dysfunction. And Secretary Duffy's warnings about airlines stopping flying, hyperbole designed to scare people. While possible, it's far more likely they'll just reduce capacity and raise prices. Same outcome, different packaging. It's a classic tactic, create a sense of urgency to justify whatever course of action benefits them. The whole thing feels deliberately theatrical. The fundamental disconnect is the politicians talking about safety while simultaneously creating conditions that undermine it. The irony is so thick you could spread it on toast. They restrict flights because there aren't enough controllers, then refuse to pay the controllers, then act surprised when safety is compromised. It's a masterclass in self-sabotage. The FAA's argument about safety restrictions is legitimate, but feels reactive rather than proactive. Why was this staffing vulnerability allowed to happen in the first place? It speaks to a broader issue of air traffic control modernization, or, more accurately, the lack thereof. The system is ancient, reliant on overworked humans as a critical failsafe. This shutdown didn't cause eye problems, it just exposed existing weaknesses. And sure, there have been reports of near-miss incidents, but that's not about impending disaster. It's about statistical inevitability in a stressed system. Things get missed when everyone is running on fumes and anxiety. And then there's the passenger experience, which deserves a special kind of hell. But let's deliberately avoid overly dramatic language here. Stranded passengers aren't heroes or victims, they're just inconvenienced people dealing with predictable problems. Airline customer service in this situation is Kafkaesque. Automated messages, long hold times, unhelpful representatives who clearly have no power to actually solve anything. It's like screaming into the void. You call for help, and you get a robotic voice telling you your wait time is longer than usual. Ultimately, passengers are powerless. They're at the mercy of forces far beyond their control: government dysfunction, airline economics, and the general chaos of modern life. A good metaphor being a single dust mote in a hurricane. You can't influence anything, you just get tossed around until something breaks. So yeah, even after they reach some agreement and reopen the government, disruptions will linger. This isn't an anomaly, it's a preview of things to come. Expect more of this. It's likely to become a recurring pattern. Shutdowns followed by chaos, followed by a slow, agonizing return to slightly less chaotic operations. Expecting competence from our governing institutions is foolish. It's like hoping your landlord will fix something without being repeatedly asked and threatened. They'll eventually get around to it, but only after you've exhausted every possible avenue of complaint and accepted that basic functionality is a luxury. This isn't about fixing the system, it's about managing expectations. Enjoy your delayed flights, maybe bring a book, or just accept that travel is fundamentally broken and lower your expectations accordingly. It's terrible, but it's fine. It really is. Just fine. And honestly, at this point, what else are you going to do?